This month's square is left parallelograms. This is what it looks like. It's basically left slip crosses. And it's pretty cool looking. It's not hard. The left slip cross technique is a little bit of a challenge to get at first, but once you get it, you've got it. My advice to you is when you start doing this, you don't knit too tightly. You'd like your stitches to be loose so that you can do this technique. So this is what it looks like. Let's see here, let's bring it in. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's look at the pattern. Strip 1, block 3, left parallelograms. So the key, WS, is your wrong side of your work, which would be, here's my right side, here's my wrong side. Okay, looks totally different. And remember that we are hanging a stitch marker on our right side so that when we know it's the right side when the stitch marker is facing us and we're ready to knit, right? Okay, so WS, wrong side of work, RS, right side of work. I'm pretty sure that you guys get this stitch, garter stitch with yarn in back. So I will come back and show you these techniques. We'll come back and we'll do the with yarn in back. We'll do a slip stitch purlwise, and we'll do the LSC, left slip cross. Okay, but first let's look at our whole pattern here. Begin square. We're going to knit 2 rows and garter stitch, increasing 3 stitches on the second row, giving us 55 stitches. You will now have the wrong side facing you. 49 stitches are used in the left parallelogram pattern, 6 are used in the border. What that means when it says you will now have the wrong side facing you, the wrong side of the work is going to be facing you. When you start this pattern, the first row begins on the wrong side, which is different than what we're used to. We're used to always starting on the right side, but this time we're going to be starting on the wrong side. Okay? This pattern is a row 2 through 9 repeat, not a 1 through 9 repeat. So that means you will start your pattern knitting row 1 through 9. Then after that, you will repeat rows 2 through 9. Okay? Then you'll begin your pattern. You're going to work until the piece measures 12.5 inches from the beginning of the pattern. You're going to end your work on a wrong side after a wrong side row, meaning end pattern after working a wrong side row. Okay? Then you'll knit 2 rows and garter stitch. So you just finished working your wrong side row. Now you're going to knit 2 rows and garter stitch, decreasing 3 stitches on row 1, equaling 52 stitches. Do not bind off. Okay, let's look at this pattern real quick. Left parallelogram. So row 1 is your wrong side, and you're going to be knitting. Row 2, right side. So it's opposite than what we're used to. Usually our even rows are our wrong side and our odd rows are our right side. Opposite this time. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, all of our wrong side rows. And then our right side rows are 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay. I know you can read that. I know you can see that, but sometimes it just helps to hear it. So row 1, wrong side, knit, and that wrong side of the work is facing us, and we're going to knit. Then we're going to turn to row 2 to our right side. So then this side of the work is going to be facing us, okay? And it says left slip cross. Then here we have our asterisks. Then you're going to knit 3 stitches, left slip cross. repeat from asterisk. So knit 3, left slip cross, knit 3, left slip cross to the last 2 stitches, ending with a knit 2. 3 is purl, 4 is knit 1, then you're going to do a left slip cross, then you have your asterisk, repeat from asterisk, knit 3, left slip cross, knit 3, left slip cross to the last stitch, knit 1. Okay, it does say, and this is right, on row 8, you're going to knit 3, you're going to repeat left slip cross, knit 3 to the last stitch, and then you're going to slip it purlwise with yarn and back. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Then you'll knit, then you'll come back up to row 2 because it's a 2 through 9 repeat, and that's what you're going to do continuously, 2 through 9. Okay? So let's go over a couple of these techniques real quick. Some of them are pretty self-explanatory, but it always helps to see things. So when it says with yarn in back, that means your yarn is in the back of your work. So when it says, if you look on your key, it says slip stitch purlwise. Okay, a lot of times on the 9th row it says slip stitch purlwise with yarn in back. So our yarn's in back. Slipping a stitch purlwise means you literally just go through the stitch as if you're going to purl and just slip it onto your right needle, and your yarn's in the back. That's all it is. Okay, yarn in back, slip stitch purlwise, go into the stitch as if you're going to purl, and slip it onto your right needle. And that's all that is. Okay? Let's do our left slip cross, which can be intimidating, but you can get it. Like I said, you're going to be wanting to knit a little bit loosely here because this is what we're going to do. A left slip cross involves 2 stitches, okay? The goal is we're going to put our needle from the back, going from the back to the front in between these 2 stitches. So we're going to turn and look. I'm going to go in through the back between these 2 stitches, in between the 2 stitches, just like that. So I'm not in either of these stitches, I'm just in between them. Then I'm going to turn my needle and knit the 2nd stitch like normal. It feels weird, but it's like normal. You're really just going into the stitch and knitting it. Wrap it, and then you got to pull it through. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what you're pulling it through, so you can separate these. Here's your new wrap. Here's your old stitch that you just went through. That's your 2nd stitch. So we've got to get your new wrap through there. So this is the tricky part. It can be tight. Is keeping your, see how I'm using my finger? I'm keeping my new wrap on my needle with my yarn and pulling it through that 2nd stitch. Okay? Then I'm taking my right needle and I'm slipping the 1st stitch as if to purl onto my right needle, and then this is still left. I pop that off and let it drop. Okay? Let's do it one more time. Going through these 2 stitches from back to front, clean in between, knitting, turning and knitting my 2nd stitch. So see how it's in between it's just going up through my 2nd stitch, knitting it. Again, kind of weird to see what you're doing, so I separate it so I can clearly see what I'm doing here. I'm going to keep my finger on this new wrap, and it's kind of weird because I want to show you guys, pulling it through. There we go. And then we're going to pop it off. Oh wait, no, sorry. I messed up. Then we're going to slip the second stitch, or the first stitch, as if to purl, boom, and then pop it off. Let me do one more. Mess that one up. So through the back to the front, turning and knitting just that second stitch. So that's what it looks like on the other side. Pulling it through. I lost it. So I lost it. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to just start over. I'm going to come in through the back, in between the two stitches, again, through the second stitch, wrap it, pull it through, slip the first stitch purlwise, and then drop that last thing. Okay, so this technique's on the YouTube channel, and so you can just watch it repeatedly. It's really cumbersome at first, but if you stick with it, you will get it. Once you get the technique, then it's just a matter of getting your yarn loose enough, okay? But I promise you, if you stick with it, you will get it. And I hadn't done this for a while, and then, see, there, it slipped out. I got to redo it. In through the back. I hadn't done this technique for a while, and I went and started doing it, and it was weird. It was hard. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right so much that I went and looked it up on YouTube to make sure I was doing it right. So, slip that and pop that off. Okay, so this is going to be your biggest challenge. I'm confident you can do it. Just continue to watch the video and continue to practice. Maybe if you feel like it's super hard and it's making your yarn look not look that great, get some scrap yarn, cast on 16 stitches, and just practice this technique. And then go back to your blanket and do it there when you've got it down. Okay? I hope you enjoy the square.